So as we begin working in Algebra 2, what it's going to take us is we're just going to start looking at the skills that we've learned in pre-algebra and algebra, and we're going to continue to use those with maybe a little bit more challenging information. But as we look at this higher level of Algebra 2, it's what do we need to do in this lesson? We're going to solve equations, and I need to what I need to do is how do we simplify and solve multi-step equations? Also, how do we create multi-step equations in one variable and use them to solve problems? So simplifying and solving multi-step equations. Well, to simplify, some of the things that we need to remember when we are simplifying, and I just put them here, are the basics of combining like terms and the order of operations. So when I'm combining like terms are going to be the things that have the same variable to the same degree. And in looking at this, I have this first example is I have 2x plus 4 plus 3x. Well, what I can combine here would be my 2x and my 3x. Those I can combine because they have the same variable. It is x, and it is to the same degree, to the first degree. And so if I combine those, I combine the coefficients. So I would have 2x plus 3x is going to give me 5x, and then I'm going to add 4 to that. I can't combine the 4 because it doesn't have a variable. It's not a like term. And then the same would go here for the next example. If I have 2x squared plus 3x plus 4 plus 4x squared, my like terms, what can I combine? Well, I can combine the x squareds because those are like terms. So in combining those, I would combine the coefficients. So 2 plus 4 is 6x squared, plus there is nothing to combine with the 3x and nothing to combine with the 4, so I just include them in my expression. So that is combining like terms. Remember when we're combining like terms. For my order of operations now, order of operations you hopefully will remember. So when we're working with our order of operations, we use these when we are simplifying an equation or an expression, and we will use our grouping symbols first, and those may be brackets, maybe parentheses. There's different types of grouping symbols, and I would even argue that the fraction sign is a grouping symbol because sometimes you need to simplify that fraction down before you can work with the rest of the equation. Exponents may appear to be 2x plus 1 squared. The exponent here is my exponent, and I can't multiply 2 times what's in this parentheses, even though it's a grouping symbol. I can't do that grouping symbol until I get rid of the exponent on the outside. So here I would have to work on my exponents before I could turn around and do that. And expanding out my exponent, maybe we don't remember that, but this would be equivalent to 2 times x plus 1 times x plus 1. Okay, now that we've expanded out our exponent, I have x plus 1 twice. That's what that 2 means. Now I'm looking at multiplication and division would be my next level of order. And I can multiply here. And when you multiply or divide just from left to right, just like you would read anything. You work math problems the same way. So I have multiplication there, so I could multiply those out or do division. It doesn't matter. And then addition and subtraction. Again, I would add or subtract last, and I would just go from left to right for multiplication and division. So going back over here to this example, what did we do? Well, right here we added. That was our order of operations. There were no brackets, there were no grouping symbols, no exponents, no multiplication or division. So we just added the like terms. And the same thing here. We just found 2 like terms to add together, and we're able to continue. So those are some of the basic things that we're going to talk about and we're going to do, and I'll just walk through some examples here. Just remembering order of operations, combining like terms, and moving forward here. So here's an example in remember order of operations. We have grouping symbols, we have exponents, we have multiplication and division, and addition and subtraction. Sometimes you'll hear PEMDAS, parentheses. I prefer to use grouping symbols versus parentheses, because parentheses are not the only grouping symbols. So looking at that, do I have any grouping symbols? I do. I have this two sets of parentheses. So I need to go ahead and, is there anything I can do inside this parentheses? Well, I have x plus 1. There's nothing I can do inside there yet. And I have x minus 1. There's nothing that I can do there because I can't combine that x plus 1. Those are not the same degree of variable for me to combine, so there's nothing to do there. So then the next thing would be our exponents. Well, everything is to the exponent of 1. I don't have, a higher level exponent to deal with. And then we have multiplication and division. Now we do have multiplication. Multiplication occurs right here. And it also occurs right there. Remember, that's what a number outside my parentheses means, is multiplication. So in doing so, I'm going to multiply this 6. I need to multiply this 6 times everything that is in that parentheses. I'm distributing it using the distributive property. And that would be 6 times x, which is going to give me 6x plus, right? And then 6 times 1 is 6. And then there's nothing to do for this next one, so I will go ahead and just bring down my minus 5x, and it equals 8 plus. Okay, I have 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times negative 1, which is going to be a negative 2. All right, now that I've done that, I can go ahead and look and say, okay, I've done my multiplication. There's no division. Adding and subtracting. Well, adding, I can go ahead and combine on this left side. I can combine those two, and I have 6x minus 5x. And doing that, that will give, remember, combining my coefficients, that will give me just 1x. Also, I still have plus 6 equals, and then I can combine 8 and negative 2. Well, 8 minus 2 is going to give me a 6. So that will give me 2x plus 6. Goodness. Okay, as we continue now, we're going to get to the point where we can combine like terms. But on the left-hand side of the equation, there's nothing to combine. On the right-hand side, there's nothing to combine. But I do have like terms that I need to remove, combined together on one side of the equation. And I would say that it's good practice. Let's see here. We have normally, remember our order, our inverse operation. So in order to get rid of addition, we want to use subtraction. And in order to get rid of multiplication, we want to use division. And so those are going to be my inverse operations. So when moving things around across the equal sign. So now I want to go ahead and I'm going to, for ease, I'm going to move this x over to the other side because that it's a smaller x value, a smaller coefficient. So in order to do that, I need to subtract x from both sides. I'm subtracting 1x because I have a positive 1x, and then this will become 0, and I'll just be left with 6 on this side. Then I have 2x minus x, and that is 2x minus 1x, which gives me just x, and then plus 6. Now I need to combine my numbers on the other side of the equation, so what I want to do is I want to move this 6 to the other side, and if I have a positive 6, the way we do that again is using my inverse operations. So I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides, because what I do to one side of the equation, I've got to do to the other side of the equation, right? And that gives me x equals 0, or x equals 0, and that is the final answer, simplifying that equation. So trying to refresh all these little things that we haven't done possibly for months. So that is going to be solving a multi-step equation. And then it wouldn't be algebra without a word problem. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this word problem, we're going to put into a mathematical expression or equation and see how we can simplify it. And here it says, Miss Ramirez is making pies to sell at the local farmer's market. It costs her $5 to make each pie plus a one-time cost of $30 for baking supplies. She plans to sell the pies for $12 each. Write an equation to find the number of pies she needs to sell to break even. Okay, so she wants to break even. Looking at this, we know, let's see here, it costs. So let's think of costs and profit. What are my costs going to be, and then what are the things that are going to make me money? Slash make money. Okay, so what are my costs? What do I know? I want to, number of pies. Okay, so I'm gonna make pies. Pies, so I know that my pies cost, what do they cost? They cost $5 per each pie I make. All right, and I know that I'm gonna pay a $30 one-time fee. That might be I had to buy pots and pans, that could be anything. So that's a one-time fee of $30. And profit, I'm going to make money. I'm going to make $12 per pie. Okay, so if we want to turn this into an equation, we don't know how many pies we're going to sell, so that's going to be my variable. So we're going to say pies are going to be X. So I do some substitution here. I know that my cost is going to be 5 times each pie. My profit is going to be 12 times each pie I was going to sell. Remember, don't know how many I'm going to sell, so that's why we're just saying pies are X. And then, and I want it to be equal. So I have equal to 12X is what I'm making. That's my profit side. But my cost side is going to be 5X because it was $5 per. And then in that case, don't forget that I also needed a $30 investment to find out, or to pay. So looks like this would break down $5 times each pie plus $30 one-time fee is going to be equal to $12 per each pie I sell. And that will tell me what my break-even point is. If you were to solve this, well, I could solve it. Probably not too hard. That would cancel out. I have 30. This becomes 7x. Divide both sides by 7 because I want to divide away that coefficient. And then x is going to be equal to 4 point something. Let me figure it out. Okay, that's going to be 4.29. X is 4.29, so I need to make 4.29 pies. So how many pies do I need to make to break even? Well, quite honestly, it's going to be 5 pies. I can't make 0.29 pies. If I make 4 pies, that's not enough to break even because it's only $28. Sorry, that would be $48. But it's going to turn out to be 5 pies. And there's doing my substitution, figuring out equations. So just keep that when we're going to go ahead and combine like terms. We are going to use our inverse operations. We are going to make sure that we are using our order of operations. And I would just specify here, or remind here, that multiplication and division are on the same level. It doesn't matter which one you do, multiplication or division, as long as you do it from left to right. And let's see, that's about it as we go into equations. So good luck in your lesson, and just remember, write the problem down, take your time. It's going to come back to you, and it's going to get easier every day.